Alright people, welcome back to another A-Level Psychology essay walkthrough video. Today we're going to be focusing on explanations for attachment. And anybody who's sitting the 2022 exam, this is an in-focus topic. So I've got 3 essays for you, 2 regular 16 markers and 1 application essay. As usual, I'll give you the title followed by a brief plan of the essay. You can pause at any point and try and write the essays for yourself if you want, which of course is great practice, not just for the exam, but also to iron out your timings and to hone those essay writing skills. If you're looking to jump to a particular essay, you can use the chapter links in the description below and go straight to the one that you want to see. And finally, if you find this video useful, a like would be awesome. So, let's get started. This is our first essay, Learning Theory of Attachment. Like I said earlier, it is a standard 16-mark essay with 6 marks of outline and 10 marks of evaluation. If you want to have a go at writing this before I go through it, go ahead and pause the video now before I move on to the plan and the model answer. So, here is my plan. My outline is going to be very standard and I'm going to go through both classical and operant conditioning. Although I'll definitely spend more time on classical than I will operant. It doesn't matter though, you don't have to have the same amount of both theories, it's all about the depth-breadth trade-off. The key will be to use as many keywords as possible that relate to the behaviorist approach, so make sure you get your neutral stimulus, your unconditioned stimulus, your conditioned stimulus, rewards, and so on and so on. So here are my evaluation points that I'm planning to use. I've got 4 in my plan, but obviously you don't have to use all of the evaluation points that I put up here. You can if you're aiming for a high level 4 essay, but 3 evaluation points will also get you a very decent mark. So it just depends on what you are going for. I would suggest, however, that if you are going to cut out an evaluation point, then get rid of the counterpoint. That's the one that's in yellow. Okay, simply because animal studies is always a nice one to have. Bowlby's theory gives you a nice discussion point at the end, and you also need a strength in your repertoire just in case you get asked for a strength and a limitation. So taking all of that into account, the counterpoint is the one that logically should be cut out if you only want 3 evaluation points. So anyone who wants to have a go at writing the essay now that we've got the plan, please pause the video now and give it a go. And I'm going to move on to the model answer. So here's my outline in blue. You've got your classical conditioning in the first paragraph and then operant conditioning in the second. As you can see, true to my word, I've spent much more time on classical conditioning than I have on operant conditioning. You could do it the other way around if you want, but classical conditioning really is the big one for learning theory of attachment. There is, of course, more that you could say about operant conditioning, but given that we don't want to squeeze too much into our outline because we are running on limited time, I've decided to keep it quite brief. Okay, so here are then my 4 evaluation points. So you've got your strength, followed by your counterpoint. Then you've got the challenging research by animal studies and also human studies. And then to finish off, you've then got the alternative process that was provided by Bowlby. Okay, that's a nice one to have as a discussion point, especially if you have to talk about both theories, which you'll see a little bit later on. So moving on, here is the second essay. And this one is all about Bowlby's theory of attachment. So my plan looks like this. Bowlby is one of those essays that is led by the keywords. So if you can hit all of the keywords in an order that makes sense, you can't really go wrong. The order I have them in here on the screen is the order that I feel makes sense, because you're starting from the beginning with the whole idea of it being evolutionary, and you're talking about the things that babies have when they're born, and then you start to talk about things like the critical period, monotropy, and so on and so on. All right, these are my evaluation points. So I've got 2 strengths, followed by some mixed evidence, and then ending up with an alternative explanation, which is the temperament hypothesis. Okay, just like in my last essay, that final evaluation point is a handy one to have because it makes for a nice discussion point just in case you ever discuss Bowlby's theory of attachment as opposed to outline and evaluate. Okay, so let's have a look at the essay. So here's my outline. Now, remember what I said about Bowlby following the keywords. Okay, so here are all my keywords that I'm putting in there. You've got innate, you've got survival, social releases, critical period, monotropy, and the internal working model. Okay, so follow them through in a logical order and it will create a nice outline that will make sense. And then here is the rest of my essay. So you've got the 2 pieces of research support, then you've got the mixed evidence followed by the discussion point at the end, which is all about the temperament hypothesis. And then finally, we have this essay. Now, this essay is a combination and an application essay. Okay, combination because it asks you about learning theory and Bowlby's theory, and combination essays like this give exam boards the opportunity to test multiple topics at once, and it also gives them the chance to see whether you can actually condense the theory down into the essentials, because if you've understood the theory, you should be able to choose what to cut out while still maintaining a nice level of breadth and depth. Also, be careful, this is a discuss essay rather than an outline and evaluate, so you've got to make sure you get some counterpoints or some discussion points or some alternative explanations or something like that just to get the argument going. Okay? So if you want to have a go at the essay before I reveal the plan, please pause the video now and I will move on to the plan. So, here we go. My outline points are largely going to stay the same as the last essays. However, as you can see, I have lost the operant conditioning element of learning theory. I've also got my application section. So in there, I've just made a few brief notes about what the 2 mums are talking about and how it relates to my theories. I'm also going to be using the same evaluation points as I used in my other 2 essays, but I'm just going to put them in a slightly different combination or in a different order in the essay as well. Again, it will make sense once you see the essay. The way that I've done it allows for a nice flow through the entire piece of writing. Okay? So, let's have a quick look at what that looks like. So, as it's both a combination and an application essay, it's going to be slightly longer than a conventional 16 marker. There's quite a lot to say about both of these theories. It's not going to be ridiculously long, but it's maybe going to be 50 to 100 words longer than the others. Okay? Now, the first thing I would say is that, as you can see, I've had a little bit of a play around with the structure. Okay, so I've gone for outline, apply, evaluate, outline, apply, evaluate. The reason I've done that is because the first evaluation point, which is about the animal studies and also the research by Schaffer and Emerson, provides a nice link to Bowlby's theory. Okay, so in terms of structure and flow, it works really, really nicely. Okay, you've got the application bits in green. They're linked on directly to the outline points. And then my final 2 evaluation points are both points for Bowlby. I've got 1 strength and 1 limitation, so you get the discussion element going on. And then you've also got that alternative explanation evaluation point, which again makes for a really nice discussion point. Okay? So, that is the end of the video. I hope it's all made sense. Keep practicing your essays because they always make up a lot of marks in the exams. If you've got any questions, please stick them in the comment section below. And also, if you'd like me to cover a specific essay or series of essays, you can pop that in the comment section below as well. I hope it's been useful. Thanks very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.